And that's the whole conversation of stablecoins, because the stablecoins that are getting copied over to PulseChain are not going to be backed by Tether, USDC, or any of these other centralized entities. And so they're basically short-term throwaway coins that are going to eventually go to zero, or they're going to drop so much because they have no value on the Pulse chain versus their Ethereum counterpart. They're non-redeemable. So I would love to know what you guys think about stable coins being maybe the only thing that you utilize in this ratio trade if you are deciding to hold it, and what you guys think the timing of that be. I have my own thoughts, but I really want to hear what you guys are thinking as well.
So I'll go first because I'll be quicker, I think. 2 points. One, I've been clipping a ton of vintage RH videos, vintage and notable ones over the last 1 to 4 years, 4 or 5 years. And the last couple of years, I've came across many clips, and I've got them scheduled to come out at some point, maybe in the next few weeks or so, of him talking about people asking about stable coins on PulseChain, him giving different answers. And what I found was interesting was, people say, oh yeah, they're not going to have value, obviously. And I don't quote me on it or anything like that, but I'm pretty sure I got the gist of his responses. A lot of time were, how do we know they're not going to have value? But it provides liquidity. What if they bond with different stuff? What if, and now we have, so that point gets me into PulseX stack address. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, is the largest holder of DAI in the ecosystem, number one. And what moves are they going to make? Are they going to make any moves with liquidity? You could talk about PX, EX parity, all that stuff. But the stable coins, if you're the largest holder, you got some power. You're probably able to make some moves there if they wanted to. And how nuts would it be? Again, Richard's mission is glory. If he's here to protect Hexskins and Pulsekins, if his whole thing is success for the project, how insane would it be? If not that stablecoins wouldn't be redeemable, because he said obviously not redeemable because they're on another chain, the company's never going to honor it, blah, blah, blah. Obvious point on that. But them having value versus being redeemable, two different things. That's what I'll say on that.
Yeah, very interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a wild trade. Like you said, it's not going to be worthless, but it's also not going to hold any sort of a peg, right? And once you see stablecoins lose peg, I mean, I can't get further away from them, to be honest. So, I mean, everybody's going to have their strategy, and I hope people do it the right way. But I don't know what way that is to do it the right way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't think there necessarily is. I think it's just something to consider. And I think there's 2 tiers of stablecoin, in my opinion. There's DAI, the decentralized one, where they have a protocol where, there's the OA or the SAC wallet has like 270 something million DAI or more now. I can't remember what it is. But they have, I think they're the largest holder in DAI at the moment. And so they themselves, I mean, this is not going to happen necessarily, but with the allocations of tokens they have, I'm wondering if they alone could, depending on what, I don't know what the DAI protocol allows for collateral, but assuming that, they have an absolute ton, there's a potential to have a ton of pulse from an entity within the ecosystem, to back those dollars. Maybe DAI is the odd one out that actually maybe assists in the other stable coins holding some peg. But maybe it's also the only one that actually starts out and holds its value relative to the other stable coins. That's kind of where your thoughts lead me there. And I'm not sure if I'm 100% on the right track, but it makes me wonder.
I think there's 2 options for stable coins other than, the community projects like Liquid Loans and Power City and those sort of things. The 2 options in my mind are, what if crazy idea. I have nothing to back this up, but other than just, again, the stuff I've heard Richard talk about before and about these type of topics, and what I've seen with, PulseX being the number 1 DAI holder. What if DAI, maybe it doesn't hold a peg, but maybe it holds some sort of value. Maybe it's not $1, maybe it's $0.50, maybe it's $1, whatever it is. What if that becomes some sort of stable coin or some version of a stable coin that gets used? Or Richard creates the next coin is a stable coin. It's not the wallet. it's a stablecoin. Maybe that's the next project. Those are two thoughts I have on that.
Well, I think at the end of the day, they're still going to have to compete with the wrap version of the stable coin that's brought in from Ethereum, right? And there's just not going to be any competition. Like being able to grab a wrapped version, bring it across the bridge, and actually be able to redeem it, that kind of value is just not going to dissipate, and you cannot really compete with that too well. So
sorry,
that
those are the three options. I didn't even. Yes, of course that's the number one option. Outside of the bridge stuff, what if DAI has some value? Or what if Richard starts a new stablecoin? Yeah, great point, Giff.